everybody, it's Jasmine, and today I'm bringing you guys a full face of Shiseido. I am so excited because I have been planning this video for about a year and it just has never come into fruition. I have just been planning it, it's been in the back of my mind, it's been written on paper, and here it is. It's been manifested and I'm bringing it to you. So I hope you guys all enjoy this one, and let's go ahead and get started. Before I settled down to do my makeup, I thought I literally had everything for a full face, but I guess now that everything is sprawled out, I don't. So whatever I am missing, I'm just going to use the products in my collection to just compensate. So the first item that I realized I was missing that I could have sworn that I bought was the Shiseido primer. I don't know where it is in my collection, but I already went ahead to just prime my skin with the Catrice Insta To Go Blur Stick. One of my favorite primer sticks. I don't like primer sticks, but this one just actually works on the skin. It's very similar in texture to Benefit Professional, if you're familiar with that. I do have my Shiseido foundation. This is their Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. This one is their original one, and this one is in the shade 340 Oak. So this one is the, I believe this one should just be regular. I know they have a hydrating one. I don't have that one, and I also think that this might be a little too dark, but that is a-okay. I'm just gonna squeeze it out on my hand and we'll see. If you are curious, I do have a review of this foundation on my channel in case you wanted a more in-depth review. Yeah, this seems to be just a tad bit too dark. The undertone is okay, but I just need it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm just gonna finish this one pump on my face, and then I'm just gonna use a different foundation to lighten it up a little bit. I have this Charlotte Tilbury foundation. This is their Airbrush Flawless Foundation, and this is in the shade 4 Warm. This is a little too light for me, so I think it'll just even out. I'm gonna do one pump of this as well. And I am just going to spread it on my face and then blend it all together. The Shiseido foundation on its own is actually a really good solid foundation. I like the fact that it does have SPF in it, and I also like the fact that it does not feel too heavy on the skin. It's been a while since I've worn it on its own because it is a little bit too tan for me, and I'm actually quite light. Normally I am a medium skin tone, but now I'm light medium because I've just been inside, I've been wearing my mask, so half my face has just been covered and not exposed to the sun. So because of that, I've only been mixing it, and it still works with my other foundations, but on its own, I think it's a really solid basic foundation with SPF. So this is what it looks like all blended out. It looks really good. I think this is like the optimal coverage for myself. It looks just really flawless, nice, juicy, but it doesn't look too dewy and it doesn't look too drying either. Now, today is actually my sister's boyfriend's birthday, aka my brother-in-law's birthday, and we're gonna go out to dinner later, so I wanna make sure that everything pretty much just stays put. So for that, I'm using my Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer, and this one is in the shade 202 Light. This is a very nice concealer as well. I do want to say that I think the shades in the concealer run a little dark because 202 Light isn't like the lightest shade that they have, but it is nearing the lighter shade. So if you could see, it's not too much lighter than my foundation shade, and I wish it was just a tad bit more light, but that's okay. I am running low, but I really love this hourglass applicator that this has. I think that when you are rubbing it onto your skin, it just does a really nice job at dispensing the color evenly on the skin and providing just even coverage all around. I'm just gonna blend this out. This is my Juno Cloud Sponge. It's really nice. I think it gives a nice airbrush finish, and I think it meshes really well with the textures of the Shiseido formula because it's not too thick, and this is a very soft and fluffy sponge, so it really pairs well with each other. When I blend my concealer, I go pretty high up into my under eye area just to really cancel everything out. Also, I did not want to add my Shiseido skincare in this video because I feel like all of my skincare videos on my channel revolve around Shiseido skincare, so I thought it would just be better to just skip that, and then if anything, you guys can just reference my skincare routines because I talk a lot about Shiseido skincare. It is my absolute favorite. I think it meshes so well with my skin type, my skin texture, and it gives me the results that I need. The foundation's on, the concealer is on, and now it is time for powder. So the only powder that I actually have from Shiseido is actually their loose powder in the Radiant version. They do have a regular matte one, but I think the Radiant kind of gives the skin that set look, but then also it gives it more of like a glow from within as well. It's not as shiny as the Laura Mercier Glow Powder. That one is very shiny. It's very much like rubbing an entire highlighter on your face. This is more subtle. I have my powder in the cap, and I'm just gonna take my Shiseido puff. It does look dirty because it just gets my foundation. So this is what I do in order for me to really set my foundation in place. It's gonna look really silly, but this is literally what I do on days where I wear makeup. I take the puff and I just set my face. I set it in the center first just because I'm always rubbing my face and I'm still wearing my face mask everywhere, so it's nice to just set that center. And then I'm gonna take a little bit extra and then just puff the mouth and jaw area. So I'm gonna take a little bit more product on that puff and then just really work it into the skin. You don't really need an extra brush to blend it in because this puff is fluffy and nice and really just does the work for you. I'm also going to take a little bit more powder just on the edge of the puff and just get under the eyes because nowadays I have not been getting a lot of sleep, so my under eyes tend to crease. It doesn't really get dark if I don't sleep, it just tends to crease a little bit more. So around the same time I actually got my foundation, I also got my powder. This is a powder foundation, and as you see, I hit pan on it. It is a tad bit darker than my actual skin tone. I don't know if you could compare and see, but I'm going to use this as my bronzer base. This is a really nice powder, and I actually do this a lot. That's why I hit pan, because it really just makes my bronzers blend in seamlessly. It makes it look so much nicer. And when I am wearing my mask and I'm taking it on and off, the powder is what transfers and not the actual foundation. So it's nice that way. By the way, this is shade 220 Linen. Now with the powders, you do want to go a little bit lighter because the purpose of these powders is that you could use it both wet or dry. So if you use it wet, I believe it turns darker, thus matching the foundation. So this one again is 340, the powder is 220. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this brush and I'm just gonna go in the areas that I would normally apply my bronzer. You can kind of see the difference. It's not huge, but it's something. And I really like this trick. I always make sure I get my nose as well because that's where your mask rests on. So now that this is the base that I have, I am going to go into my collection and grab a separate bronzer because I don't believe Shiseido has a bronzer in their collection just yet. I believe they only have blushes and highlights. So I'm just gonna go grab that now. This is my all-time favorite bronzer. This is the Kimchi Chic I Went to Venice bronzer. So pigmented, so amazing. The color is beautiful. It's so warm. Some people, it may look orange on them, but because I'm so yellow, it just works out beautifully on the skin. I just love this formula so much. And honestly, Kimchi Chic has not been disappointing me at all with any of my purchases. So it's definitely becoming one of those brands that I am just absolutely obsessed with. For my nose, I just take whatever is left on the brush and I just focus it on the sides of the nose, just turning the brush. There. I know, I don't really do anything crazy. I don't really care about nose contour, if I'm being quite honest with you. I never really have. I just put something there. And then once I do highlight and blush, it all just comes together and I just, you know, I just forget about the nose. I don't know. So I went on YesStyle and I actually placed a purchase for some more Shiseido products. So these ones are more readily available in Japan as opposed to America. Now this one is called the Integrate Gracie Cheek Color in 300 Orange. I only know that because there's an English tag on the back. And I kept the tag on purpose so that I could read that for you. But this is what it looks like. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of CoverGirl. Okay, so I'm just grabbing this on the brush, tapping off a little extra, and apply. This is really cute. I just need to disperse the color on both cheeks. I like how this is more of like a soft peachy orange as opposed to something super bright and intense. Orange blushes just work really well on my skin. I just really enjoy it. It's cute. I actually don't think I have this type of shade in my collection because I do have orange blushes, but none look like this. So this is definitely unique to me, but it's definitely not a unique color as is. And then for highlight, I have the Inner Glow Cheek Powder, and this is Inner Light number 1. And then they also have their Aura Dews, but if you don't like cream highlighters, then you're probably not gonna like those. And plus they're also really glittery, so I usually just use those for the eyes. By the way, this is what the Aura Dew looks like. I used to have Solar, remember? And then it fell out into a ball of spider webs. And then I had to throw it away. Yeah, I remember that. I got a new one. This one's Lunar. This one's a silver one. Solar was more golden. So this is what the Aura Dew looks like, just in case you were wondering. But let's move on into eyebrows. I have another Japanese Shiseido product, and this one is called their Integrate Eyebrow Pencil. And this one is in the shade GY941. Maybe it's dark brown. Interesting. This does not have a cap. It just twists up like that. Okay. Other side is your basic spoolie. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we'll see if this works. I don't know if it's dried out or anything, or I don't know if it's like so waxy to the point where it just maintains itself. She's a little dry. It's very hard. Color is nice, matches my hair pretty well. It is a little bit warm. It's not completely neutral or cool, which is fine. I could definitely make it work, but I have really black hair, so I need something cooler toned for my brows in order to match it nicely. I think the spoolie is nice. It definitely blends out the product evenly. And I think that's just because it's so tiny and it just works well with like more of like this drier pencil. The pencil itself, I think it did a pretty good job with my eyebrows. It's not the hardest pencil I've ever worked with, but it's definitely not the softest either. It's okay. I think if I were to give it a genuine rating, I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10, just because I would prefer to work with something not as dense as this. Okay, this is what the brows look like, nothing crazy. So for the eyes, I'm a little sad because I had purchased the Miyuki Street Nudes, and I had a free gift with purchase at Macy's because I also bought some more Ultimune, which is one of my favorite serums. And I got sent another one of these, and I thought I would get a different palette shade, which is it's fine. It was a free gift, but it made me a little sad because now I have two and I felt like I should have just gotten another one. I should have just purchased a different color, but that's okay. So I'm gonna make do with what I have. So this is the palette. Very, very neutral, very boring. If you guys have seen neutral palettes, you guys know it's a little bit boring because it's just so overdone. We do have a gray, we have a white, we have more of like a soft pastel orange, and then we have like a soft shimmer maroon. I also have these Shiseido Kajal ink liners, and these ones are probably one of my favorites. So I actually have a couple of shades. I have the Azuki Red, which is what I'm going to be using today. I have Kabuki White, and then I also have this one that's also really fun and I love using it. This one is Sumi Sky, which is a blue. I'm actually going to blend this orange all over my eyes as a base. I'm thinking maybe we're gonna do like a lighter cut crease as opposed to something so dark and intense, just because we're going to a simple dinner. And then with that cream shade, that white shade, I'm gonna blend this to my brow bone so there's not a harsh line. By the way, I am so happy that I am home alone. I've never been home alone in like forever, and I told myself, yes, I could finally sit down and film and not get distracted. Like, I am so freaking happy. So I'm just gonna take that burgundy on the same brush and I'm gonna tap off just a little bit. I'm going to push it in my eye to find my orbital socket. And I'm just gonna go back and forth and I'm just going to build this so that we could create that cut crease effect. So my cousins from Texas actually just left and it's so crazy because I don't really see them that often and they're so supportive. They're just like, are you still doing YouTube? I'm so happy that you're a makeup artist. And it's just so nice to get that love from your cousins that you don't see a whole bunch. My other cousin who is also my age, it's also her birthday today. She was saying how it's crazy because all of the younger cousins, for some weird reason, they're always attracted to me. Like they always want to just tell me their deepest, darkest secrets and just hang out with me and all that stuff. And we were wondering why that is, and I guess I just have like this presence about myself that's just very inviting, which is nice, but then also it reminds me of college when random men would just come up to me and just think that I'm just so inviting while I'm just doing my calculus homework. Taking a Zuki red and just applying this into the crease, and I'm going to blend this out. Blend it out while it is still freshly applied. You don't want this to settle in because once it's settled, it's not gonna go anywhere. See the difference that made? Beautiful. I blended the maroon red on top because I wanted to make sure it had something to blend into. I'm gonna take the eyeliner again and I'm gonna go up just like before. Just like that, but just a line going up this time. And then I'm gonna take that small brush that we had earlier, that small little pencil brush, and I'm just gonna take a little bit more of the red eyeshadow and then just blend this all together. So for the cut crease, I'm just gonna grab my concealer and I am just going to draw out the shape that I want very briefly, and then I'm gonna take that concealer brush and this is going to allow me to distribute that color and then also blend the edges a little bit better. So when you blend the edges with concealer, you want to make sure that you're patting so that you don't continue to just extend the concealer. You kind of want to pat it where you want it to end. This is what we're working with, and we're gonna go into the Aura Dew and we're gonna do silver. I know silver and red doesn't usually mix, but I just wanted to try something. If I don't like it, we could go in with the plan B. I am gonna take this on a regular eyeshadow brush. You can use your fingers. You will get more of that glitter effect with your fingers, but here we go. Just gonna pat it on. Don't swipe because you're gonna mess up that concealer. So the only area that I'm going to be smearing is right at this cut crease line, just to make sure it's nice and cut and smooth. There you go. It looks so good. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of that red burgundy and I'm just going to blend the edges by just tapping. So the tapping motion is really crucial because there's going to be a harsh distinction between silver and red, so you want to make sure that it kind of just blends seamlessly into each other. I'm in love with how this looks so far. I would never have paired silver with burgundy, but I think it's looking really amazing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the bottom of the eyes, which is always simple. I'm gonna just use the eyeliner one more time as a base, and then I'm gonna blend again with the burgundy. So for the bottom, you want to make sure you are looking up to the ceiling. And you want to just start from the outer corner going in, just like that. I'm just going to use whatever burgundy is left on my little pencil brush here, just so I don't grab too much. And I'm just going to start blending back and forth from the outer corner to the inner corner. And then I switch the side of my brush and I am just working again on the other eye. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of the brush, I'm going to dip it into that eyeshadow, and I'm going to look up into the mirror, and I'm just going to go as close to that eyeliner as possible. Again, tip of the brush, and as close to that eyeliner as possible. This just ensures that there's more pigment towards the base of your eye, the waterline, and then that everything else is blended and smoothed out. And now I'm going to take a clean brush in that orange, and I'm just going to blend just the very bottom just to make sure that it's blended. And it kind of looks like the top, right? Because we did orange as a transition shade. So this is just me blending it out. I do own one liquid eyeliner from Shiseido, and this one is a Shibui Black, and it is just their Arch Ink liner. So it looks like this. It's super micro, super tiny. So if you have troubles getting a really thin line, you might actually really like this eyeliner. So I'm just gonna go in and draw my wing. So I heard that Japanese mascaras are the best mascaras. I have never tried them. This is gonna be my first time. I'm really excited. So this is Lash King, and this is Majolica Majorca. And apparently this is owned by Shiseido, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. I got this one again on Yes Style. Ooh, it seems like there's fibers in here. Okay. I don't expect to be super wowed on my first application with mascaras. Usually I'm not, but I'm gonna give this a few extra shots to see how I really enjoy it. So far, this is seeming like a pretty dry formula, which is fine. Sometimes with these formulas, it will actually get more juicy the more times you use it, which is a little strange. But I actually am noticing that my lashes are really liking these fibers because they seem to be attaching on very nicely. Okay, here is a close-up of my eyes. You could definitely see my bottom lashes, and if I open my eyes big enough, you can kind of see my top lashes too. Yeah, it looks really good. So Shiseido actually does not have any fake eyelashes, and I really want to use some fake lashes today. So I am going to do my ShopMissA lashes. Right now, I have been loving the AOA Pro Gaias. So stunning. I just feel really pretty in them. Now, to apply them, I'm actually going to use like a liner adhesive. My best friend Sydney has been absolutely raving about the Kiss Lash Glue Liner, and it actually is really amazing. So that's exactly what I'm going to use today. So I'm just going to go over the eyeliner portion just on my lash line, and what I'm going to do is I'm mostly just tapping it on so that the product dispenses out instead of just drawing on. I hope that makes sense. I accidentally just thickened up the line, which I'm kind of pissed about. It's okay, it's okay. I'm gonna take my lash, and I am just going to apply it as so. And it lasts all day, surprisingly, and it's a drugstore product. And I only say that because I have tried other liner pens, and they have been astronomical in price, and they do not last all day. So the fact that this is drugstore, the fact that it lasts so much better than some higher end brands really says a lot. So right now my top two favorites for like the liner adhesives are the Kiss and Velour. Everything is just coming together beautifully. I'm really loving this. I think the lashes really just pull the look in together a little bit more. I really just love how these aren't too long, they're not too short. They are spiky but also wispy at the same time. So for the lips, I want to actually do a ombre lip combo if I can. So I am going to just play around with different lip tones, but I think right now I want to for sure go into my favorite lip liner by Shiseido. This is Espresso, and I am going to do first the lip primer that's on the butt of this. Now, lip primers are just to help the longevity of everything, make it nice and smooth, and then you guys know the drill. I use this in so many tutorials. It is so dark, but it is perfect for that ombre lip that I like doing. And I'm leaning towards the Visionary Gel Lipstick in Cyber Beige because there's a little bit of orange in there and I think it might match my blush and my eyeshadow a little bit. So we're gonna go in with this right in the center, and then we're just gonna blend the liner and the lipstick together. Alright you guys, this is the final look. How are you guys feeling? I think it looks so incredibly stunning. I feel luxurious. I feel very high-end, but also I feel very comfortable, and I love the look that I came up with. Even though I only had 4 eyeshadows to work with, I actually worked with only 3, and the majority of it was one shade. So this is again the look that I created. Some of my favorite Shiseido products in general that I do advise you to try would definitely be their lipsticks. I think they have such an array of lipsticks with all different types of formulas. I have a lot of the lipstick try-ons on my channel. I believe I have the gloss. I have tried a lot on my channel already in various tutorials. I do love these eyeliners, the Kajal eyeliners. These are amazing. Packs a punch, you could blend it out. I think it really adds a kick to your routine, and it's an easy way to pop in color. The pencil itself is not too large and in charge like the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, but it's not super skinny. And I also really like the fact that once it settles, it's there forever until you wipe it off. And I also really enjoy the powders. I think the powders are really solid. Whether you're looking for a loose powder or even the pressed powder, I think that it's really solid. Foundation is great as well, but I feel like I just need a new shade. But aside from that, I feel like everything is through and through really amazing. I don't think there's a single product in the Shiseido line that I've been absolutely disappointed by. As you guys know, I did actually used to work for Shiseido pre-pandemic. I did get laid off because of COVID. And I just want to say, like, just as somebody who was working like not necessarily behind the scenes, but somebody who actually went to trainings, I know that they don't approve things unless it's really amazing, and I could genuinely say that just as a consumer standpoint, and also as somebody who has worked for them and has seen the line grow. So with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful. I hope you guys found it fun. Hope you guys learned something, and thank you guys for just sitting here with me while I do my makeup. I just love sitting down filming tutorials when I can, and I just feel really happy. I feel really pretty right now, and I'm just really excited to go have dinner and have food in my belly because all I had today was a chicken wing. As always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.